Okay, good morning. My name is Megan, and I've had several people ask me about the multicolored layering I do with the vinyl to be applied to all kinds of different blanks. But this is just a really quick tutorial to show you the method that I use when I'm creating some sort of image or character that has multiple colors and needs to be layered. And so we're going to start with a basic image. I just found just a little image from a Google search. So let me pull it up as an example. So I've found when I'm doing the layering process, the very best types of images to use are color books. So you look for a coloring page, um, usually because the lines are very clearly defined, and that helps when I'm trying to trace something using the Silhouette software. So if at all possible, I start with a color book page. If not, I can do it from just another image, a graphic or a cartoon illustration or something like this. But these little monsters are the easiest, or these little line drawings are the easiest to do. So first I open up the image in my Silhouette. I do have the design edition. You need to have the designer edition in order to do the trace function, which is the first step. So we're going to open the image, and then I'm going to select the trace option from the toolbar above. You have to tell it where you want to start the tracing and where you want to end the tracing. So I will select the area with the image. Now, I'm not an expert at the difference between high pass and low pass, but my understanding and what I've found to be is that high pass works the best when there's stark contrast, like a black-white. When I have to do some more finagling with the colors and stuff, I use a low pass. So this is a black and white image, so what I need to do is adjust my value until all the black has been filled in with a yellow. So if you'll notice, there's a little black left in this little bottom guy's eye, so I'm going to adjust my filters until everything is filled in with yellow and I'm comfortable with it. And once that's the case, I will click on the button that says trace, not trace outer, trace inner, because you want it to trace everything. So it traced it, and let me show you what happens. So I'm going to pull this little guy off to the side, and this is the secret to doing multiple colors. When it traces a line, it traces the, let's scroll a little bit more, it traces the outside of the line, where my cursor is, and it traces the inside of the line. So it gives you two different elements. So we're actually going to take advantage of that when it comes to filling this in with coloring. So the first step after I've traced it and I'm happy with the trace, we're going to scoot this over here, is I actually make two copies of it, okay? So I'm going to do my Command C for one copy and Command V the second copy. So one of these copies, and we'll scoot back so you can see, I put off to the side. I call this my oops file, so if I mess up anything that I'm doing over here, I've got a copy of my original line drawing over here that I can refer back to. And this second one is actually going to become the outline, this black outline that's going to sit on top of the color images. So to remind me of what it's going to do, I actually will fill it in with black. So you click the fill bucket, I go select black, you can fill it actually any color you want. So I'm going to set this off to the side, because what this is going to become is the very top layer that's going to sit on top of all of the different colors that get filled in here. So now let's go back to our main image and start doing the color fill. Now I do color fill because that helps me identify what different vinyl cuts are going to be made. So I have to color in each of the elements to show me what colored vinyl I need and how many cuts and where the cuts are going to be. So first I'm going to select the main image, and I'm actually going to release compound path. I don't know if you know, but compound essentially means to make it all one image. So it's pulled all the lines together and made it a single image. So what I'm doing is releasing that so that they're different elements, and you can see now the bounding boxes around each one of the individual elements, and that's what I want. So I've released the compound on this entire image. Now what I'm going to do next is actually delete what would have been the black edging around the whole thing. So I'm going to select this outside edge, And since it's one single continuous line, it's all connected. So once I select it and I hit delete, it takes it off. So now the black outline on the outside edge is off. So what's left after I've got to do all of the black. So that was just the single black outline. I know these little hand movement bars up here are also black. I'm going to go through and take out anything that's going to be colored by the black because I don't want it to be a part of the coloring process over here because I already have it colored black up here. So anything, if you'll notice, like his little eyeballs, the outline around the teeth, his little eyes, the outline around his mouth, all of that's black. So I actually want to take it out of this main image because I'm going to use the outline above to cover over the top. So these guys are black. I'll take them out. They're black. His mouth, the outline of it is black. So I'm going to select it and delete it, take the black outline. Around his eyeballs is black. So I'll take that outline out. And the interior part of his eye, the little iris or eyeball-y part, is black. So I'm taking that out. Like around this dot is black. Around this dot is black. Anything that would be covered by black, I'm going to take out. So I think, oops, there's a little black one there, and a black one around this nostril, and a black one around this dot. I'm going to take out. And then down to our friend monster below, around his eyeballs, we're going to take that out, and around his mouth, we're going to take that out. So what should be left are all the color parts, right? Okay, so this is all the stuff we need to color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it, Control C, and I'm going to paste it right next door. Control V. We'll scoot it over. So the color layers are kind of broken into what I call two main layers. You have your main body that's going to be the largest bulk of a colored item, and then you usually have these little elements like his teeth and his tongue and his spots and his eyeballs. And most characters that you outline are going to have things like that. So what I want to do is create one colored layer that just has like the main body, and then another colored layer over here that has all the little elements, okay? So this one, we're going to go over here, and I'm going to use this layer as his body. So I'm going to find a way to color just the body parts. I don't want his little arm because his arm's going to be over on the second layer. I don't want this little arm. I don't want his horns. Okay, I don't, let's see, is there anything else flapping around on the outside? So I want to remove anything that is not part of his main body. So that's not part of his main body, that's not part of his main body, this is not part of his main body. All the rest of this are, oops, there's a little one right there, I forgot. So all the rest of this are either interior functions or part of his main body. So we're going to actually do a compound on, actually we're going to do a compound, and I'm going to separate this little dude from this little dude, because watch what happens. You're going to make a compound object, oops, not release, pardon me, that was the wrong one. Make compound. So now it's made it all one piece. So what this means is that when I select a color, it's going to fill in that one single piece, okay? And we're going to do the same thing to our little friend down here. We're going to, oops, I forgot to do compound first. See, that's what happens when you don't do compound first, it just fills it in and all the little pieces get filled in too. But when you go to make compound path, you hit purple, now it's like a cookie cutter. So it's all those little pieces have been cookie cutted out. So now we're going to go over here. And because I have a green body part over here, I no longer need the green body. So I'm going to deselect it because I've already got it over here. Same with the little purple guy. I don't need it because I've already got a purple one over here. So now I have the elements I have to color. So for this case, I'm going to select all of his hands. I'm going to hit Shift and select his other hand, and I'm going to color it brown, okay? So you're going to go through the whole piece and you're going to color the different elements. One key I need to tell you is that you need to make sure that if, say you're going to color the teeth and his nostrils white, and his eyeballs white, and his horns white, you need to do it all in the exact same color. It has to be all the same shade of white. So if you color like all of his dots blue, they can't be multiple colors of blue unless you're planning on cutting them all as separate different colored blue dots. But if you want them all to be cut from the same sheet of vinyl, you need to color them the same color blue. Because later when we go to cut it, you're actually going to be cutting you're going to be cutting, what do they call it? In the advanced stage, where we cut by color and not just the whole image at once. So they need to be the same color so it knows that it's cutting all of these elements from the same sheet of vinyl. Okay, so we've got the eyeballs, we've got the spots. Let's do the back of his throat. I'll go up here to color. We're going to color it light pink, and we're going to color his tongue red, and then our little purple friend needs his eyeballs and his teeth white. Okay, so that should be all of our elements are colored, and we're calling it this one element colored layer. And then the bodies are all colored. So this is the point where we kind of start to assemble it back so you'll see what it looks like. So we have the little body, the little elements, and we're going to lay the body over the top. So that's his colored body. And then here's his little colored body, and it goes right on top. And then last but not least, we add this guy here, and he goes on top. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is the lines. Because you created this black outline at the beginning, it was based on the computer's understanding one of the first elements or lower level elements you created. So you need to put that layer or element back on top. So you're going to go to Object Arrange after you've selected the outline, and you're going to tell it to bring it to the front. So it's going to say, okay, you want that on top. So now that it's on top, you layer over the top. And let's zoom in, make sure that it's kind of sitting where we want it to sit. And that's going to be about it. There we go. Okay, so there's our little color dude. He is all colored. So now you're essentially ready to start cutting the different layers, and then you'll put them back together after you've cut the vinyl. So that's how you create multicolored, or how you break apart a design to allow for multicolored print or cutting. Here's some tips on actually cutting it and layering it. I found sometimes when I have a whole bunch of colors in my head, I have to figure out what layer I need to cut and layer first, what colored layer I need to cut and layer first, because it does make a difference. Because if you think about it, if you put your green and your pink and your red together, and then you put the black behind it, it's going to look a little wonky because the outline's going to be trying to peek through the different colored layers. So always, always your black. And so what I'm doing is I create on the left-hand side kind of a reminder list to me of the order in which I need to be layering my vinyl. So in this case, your black layer, oh, it's talking about my little image on the side. Your black layer always needs to be the layer that's on top. The black outline always needs to be on top. So then after that, I find that it's easier to have like the big block layers next. So I'll go green, and then I'll go purple, because those are the two body colors and they're the biggest. What did I say? I meant purple. P-U-R-P-L-E. Okay, so we'll go through all of those. And in fact, I already did one of them. Let me just copy it and we'll paste it over here. Okay, so here's what I usually do when I have multiple colors to remind me that the order in which I will be layering them. So it's going to be black, green, purple, white, pink, red, brown, and then the blue dots will be the last colors to be layered. A couple other things that will help. Once I create the image and I've got my final product here, I don't separate it again. I cut it from this single image because it helps me remember what it's supposed to look like or how it's supposed to end up. When I start to pull it apart, sometimes people, and I've done it before on other types of projects, they'll pull apart the image and put like the greens up here and the blues over here and the pinks over here or whatever, so that they can have a whole bunch of different little sheets of vinyl spread out across their mat and cutting all at once. And I found the problem with that is, for me, and it's just a personal thing, is that sometimes then it's hard to get them all realigned again and laying again and remembering what order, that type of thing. If that works for you, floats your boat, go for it. More power to you. But I have found that just keeping the entire image together and then cutting the layers one at a time helps keep them all straight in my head. That's just one suggestion. And then the other one is that you're going to build the layers on your transfer tape. I don't like apply one layer to an item and then apply the next layer to the item, because you would have to do that in reverse. I'd have to put the blue spots down first, then the brown on top, then the red and the pink and the white and purple. Because my problem with that is it is not forgiving once that vinyl's touched the surface of whatever I'm trying to cover, be it a cup or a sign or the wall or whatever. It's not as forgiving. If I keep it building it on the transfer tape, I have much better chance of changing or modifying things or pulling something to cover a spot just a little bit better than I would once I've laid it down on the object. Okay, so once you have this all set up, what you need to do to cut it is you're going to move over to the cutting page, cut settings, and you're actually going to click advanced settings. And if you'll look, it has all of the colors that we have used to cut. And so for whatever reason, it varied a couple of my blue dots, but I know that these both are blue dots. So it's all of the different colors that we've used. And so this is how I cut all of the different layers. So I will unselect everything but say the black. So I'll put my square of black in. I'll click the black and see it's the only one selected. Right now it's telling me it's going to cut it with a paper, copy paper, which I don't want. So I will move down. Oh, I need to unselect the pattern. For whatever reason, it usually throws these two, no pattern and pattern, at the end of this list, but there is no option for cutting any of those, so I just learned to ignore them. So I've selected black, and I'm going to tell it, oops, just kidding. Now I've selected black. I'm going to tell it what setting for 651. I've already got it. I did those settings myself, and they work for me. And then I'll hit send to Silhouette, and it will cut just the black. And then next go around, I'll take off the black, and I will cut all of the blue. So by doing this, you can see that it's highlighted just the blue dots. And so now it will go and cut just the blue. So then once I've gotten those all the way done, everybody cut, I'll go through and peel them off or weed them, and then I'll start my layering process. And again, I'll be following this list over here. I'll start with the black one and pick that up with my transfer tape. And then with that black, I'll go over the top of the green. Then I'll go over the top of the purple and pick up all the whites, pinks, reds, browns, and last blues, and then I'll have the entire image on transfer tape. So then I can select where to apply that. So hopefully that helped you a little bit. I'm happy to answer any questions. And one more little tip. I just noticed my little purple monster has a white over here. This is just last minute tip. Sometimes I find if it's going to be hard to line up this with this, because the black line is a little bit generous, I sometimes go in here and expand the body just a titch. Even delete some of the points aren't necessary. Expand the body just a titch. That way there is not a problem with making sure that I get everything covered by the black line. Sorry, that's just a last minute tip. So let me pull that back and let's see if that covers it a little bit better. Yep. Cool. All right, so that's how to do it. If you have any questions, you're welcome to write them below and I will try to answer them, but hopefully that will help you. And too, it's just a matter of practice. The more of these you do, the easier they become. Thanks for watching.